Becky, and I'm going to be unboxing and organizing the Bargain Bead Box for October 2025. It is the Midnight Menagerie Bargain Bead Box. This is a monthly bead subscription, and it is one of the more frugal bead subscriptions out there, but it is very much the best value for money bead subscription that you can have. It comes very beautifully curated with gemstones, check glass, really cute and adorable findings. It's absolutely kind of my desert island bead box. If I had to only pick one, it would be this one. It is a fantastic value and it is really great. And if you have been studiously avoiding any spoilers up till now for this Midnight Menagerie, this is your chance to go exit out of this video, hit save to watch later, and then come back once you've gotten your box. However, if you want to see some spoilers, or you've already gotten your box and want to see how I organize it, then keep watching because we're going to have some fun with it. And also stick around to the end because I'm going to do some earrings. Let's do earrings today after the end of the unboxing. Alright, there is underneath this fold a 30% off coupon that they give to their subscribers to their sister site, which is a really great place to find fantastic deals on, again, check glass, gemstones, and findings. It is a closeout shop, and so you get really, really good deals and a 30% off discount every month. I spend way too much money there, but I get so much for it, so it's kind of worried about. It kind of works out. Anyway, let's read what this is about, and then we'll take a look at the beads. We've got shadowy hues and nocturnal creatures combined in this fun yet elegant set. Pendants include a charming celestial cat, I love that, a bat set with golden sheen obsidian, and a faceted black obsidian teardrop. Gemstones in dark moody colors mesh with sparkling silver crystals and silver findings to create an October twist on this classic black and silver palette. So I am excited for that. I love obsidian. It is one of my favorite gemstones, or minerals, I should say. You usually get a list on the back side that lists everything in here. You'll often get, with metals, a listing for LF is lead-free, NF is nickel-free, CF is cadmium-free. If it doesn't have that information here, it just means that Bargain Bead Box didn't have it when they were packaging this up. So it looks like some of them are probably going to need me to do some testing to see if there's any nickel react from our little testing kit that I've got here for my sister, who also gets this box because she has a nickel allergy. So I will be testing the metals, and I'll update the description after I've done my testing if I find any that are truly not nickel free, or that I get a positive nickel react to let everybody else know. But like some of them, they'll say hypoallergenic, which means it is by dint of being hypoallergenic, nickel free. And some of these might be that the manufacturers that they got them from, they didn't state that they were nickel free, but it may actually be nickel free. It just wasn't any information that Bargain Bead Box could pass on to us. So that's why I'm going to do some testing. But for the ones that they actually do know about, like this bat donut pendant, 2 of them, those are definitely nickel free. So let's see what we've got on here. And I'm setting aside my list. I'm not going to go down the list in any particular order. I like to start with big beads and then move on to other things. They are individually labeled, so we will be able to do that. Ooh, spooky. I love it. This is the goth box, guys. Goth box, goth box. Gotta love a goth box. Loving all of these. So great. This is the stainless steel chain. Look at our little kitties in the moon. How great are these? So there are going to be some metals that I need to test, I think. We've got so many different beads. I love these. How great are those? Ooh! Yes, those boho bead sets. Glowing lampwork glass beads. Yes! I love glow-in-the-dark beads. That is so much fun. Oh, friends. More bats. Bats and cats. Bats and cats and bats and cats and bats and cats and bats and cats. Here we go. Alright. Let's start with these beads. Get them all put into my organizers. Now I prefer these 15 grid organizers for my bead boxes because if I leave them in the bead or in the bag or the box that they come in, I will never use them. But if I have them here in my organizer, I can see them all together and I can start getting ideas about how to use them. So let's start with some of these guys. Alright, so we've got some 8mm golden sheen obsidian round beads, 7.5 inches of these. And these are not completely black. The golden sheen gives you a really, really dark, like umbery kind of a color. I don't know if that is showing up on camera or not. But those will be really great to add to like some warm tone kind of designs, I think, because we do have some warm toned beads like the Z beads and some of the smaller gemstones, and these have some warm tones in them too. In fact, let's open up this one next. This is some dyed Malaysia jade rondelles in October Nights. There's 7 inches of these, and these are 8 by 6mm in size. And so it looks like we've got some warm, like, sort of mahogany obsidian orange. That's the this brown color here. It's not a bright, bright orange, but then you've got some purple bits and then some black bits that are showing up. So this is a really interesting color for these bead shapes. That is going to be really interesting to use, I think. I have never seen that before. Not in a gemstone combination. Whoop. Oh, friend. I'll go find that later. Okay. And then we've got some 13 by 10 black onyx barrel beads. And there are 8 of these. They're going everywhere but on this dish. And then some 6mm black agate. They are dyed and heated. There's 15 inches of these beads. So it looks like we've got some that are black all the way through, and then a few here that maybe have a milky stripe, or maybe some semi-clear all the way through on those. That is fun that there's some variation in there too, and that it's not just all black. Let's get these crystals in here. These are 8 by 6mm crystals in Moon Shadow Mix, and there are 16 inches of these available. Let's see what different colors we have on here. Looks like we've got a smoky crystal. Looks like there's a little bit of an AB finish on that. And then we've got some just like a metallic-y silver crystal. We've got some opaque gray, opaque black, I know what that is. It's like a mushroom color. And then we've got some white, and all of these have so much sparkle and flash on them. Love that. I'm actually going to put them in here because it's entirely possible that I am going to need two sections for these because they are a very long strand. Sometimes these sections are not big enough to hold 8mm beads that are like 16-inch long strands, and I do have, it looks like, more beads than will fit. So let's put down one of my sections. If you are curious, I will put a link to the organizers, my favorites, in the description. It's how I always organize these types of bead subscriptions. Ones that have different sizes of beads, different shapes, and lots of variety. Alright, then we've got some crystal faceted chevron barrel beads in black vitriol. Oh, I love these. These are moody. I think my favorite part of these is that depending on the way the light hits, they glow. My sister is going to love these. She will go nuts for them. Tell me I'm wrong, Jenny. And then we've got crystal English cut faceted round beads in black vitriol. Again, this is 9.5 inches. Oh, sorry. We had a number on these. There were 20 pieces. There we go. And again, you've got so much sparkle, but you've also got, with that vitriol color, you've got color coming out from the inside of it, the way the light hits it. And this is my least favorite stringing material. It is this very, very fine wire. Oh, I have poked myself with this wire so many times. So I am very careful when I am unstringing these when they're on this wire. Just to make sure that I don't get poked. It's not my favorite. Almost got me, almost got me. There we go. Phew. That's going to be a lot funner to go with. So, it is not completely black, white, and silver. So far, we do have a lot of nice subtle colors in here, and also some fun monochrome looks as well. And then we've got some teeny jemmies. These are 4x3 golden sheen obsidian faceted rounds. This is 7.5 inches. And I will probably leave them on this strand while they are in here and not unstring them, because it's easier usually to design or to pull them off the strand than it is to dig them out with a scoop. But I will shorten these strands a little bit so that they don't get all unruly inside of the box. There we go. So these guys are going to go right here. Alright, and then we've got some more small gems. That's these, and I think that these guys are going to be roommates because we do have quite a few things in this box. I can give them their own rooms if we end up not needing it, but my guess is we will actually need it. And these are 4mm cat's eye glass, faceted rounds. Oh, I thought these were gemstones. Y'all, they look like gemstones. And you know what? I don't think these are as orange as they appear on the strand. I think these are going to be more of a light peachy color once they get off of this strand, which is delightful. I love peach. as a color. But yeah, this is cat's eye glass, not gemstone. Isn't that fun? What a great way to get like that gemstone look without the cost. Alright, and now these are 10mm agates. They are dyed and heated striped sea beads. And they are our pumpkins. That's what I'm calling them. They are not pumpkin beads. They don't have the corrugation. They do have the stripes though. Maybe they're basketballs too. I don't know. Alright, so let's get into some of our guys here. This is an antique silver cat and moon pendant with glass. So it is not obsidian. It is just a dark glass. I'm going to set that guy in there. Let's get our other kitty cats with the moons. This is a two-piece 22 by 19 enameled cat and crescent moon pendant. And again, if it doesn't have the metal content on it listed on here or on the sheet, I will be testing them later. But that is the front and back of these guys. Stick them right in there. And now we've got some bats. Alright. Enameled bat donut pendants. And here's the thing, I have a feeling that these are made by the same manufacturer, possibly out of the same materials. So the fact that these say that they are nickel-free, these might be nickel-free as well. But we'll test just to be sure, because it would be pretty terrible for my sister if she just made assumptions and didn't actually make sure yes or no. I'm going to stick these guys under here. There we go. And then we've got a brass and golden sheen obsidian bat pendant. It is 26 by 46 millimeters. And here he is. Front and center. This bail can be removed if you don't like the bail, if you want to attach it a different way. Here we are from the back. Now, where I live, bats are kind of our sort of town mascot. My son's community college that he went to, they're the river bats. We have them like bat iconography around here and that sort of thing. So I love that we're getting bat things, because it's not just for Halloween around here. It's for other things too. So it's really, really fun that we've got these. I think actually I'm going to need a 2-section thing for these bats because they've got some wingspans. It's actually, you can set up a bat house or sanctuary in your yard, and it's permitted by law. No HOA can disallow it, and that's a good way to make sure that they help control like some of the mosquito population and that sort of thing. There's a bridge downtown that at night you can stand on it and see all of the bats come out from underneath it. It's really cool. I actually haven't done that, but it's something that tourists come and see the bats come out. It's pretty cool, and I guess one of these days I should do that. Alright, so then we've got some filigree bat connector charms. They're antique silver. They're 20 by 56 millimeters. And let's turn... Looks like they are the same on either side for these. And there are multiple connection points on these guys. So you could hang it upside down and then have multiple connections here, 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 and here. Or you could have multiple connections here, here, and here. There's a lot you can do with these. That's going to be a lot of fun to play around with, I think. Alright, now these guys, the Midnight Moonlight bead set. So one is a 25 by 30 millimeter boho bead, and then the other are some glowing lampwork beads. So let's get these guys out. It looks like they are the same size too. Let's take a look at this boho bead. We've got some rhinestones in here. It looks like that's cup chain that's been turned inward. Interesting. But yeah, that's very... And then these guys, I don't know if it will show up on camera if I hide the light. They're supposed to glow in the dark. I can see a little glow maybe. I don't know. We'll try them out. I think it's going to be these little white parts in there that are glowy. It's always a surprise when I wear things that glow in the dark. I forget that they glow in the dark, and then like at nighttime, I'll turn out the lights and they'll still be there, and they'll be all glowing. And I'm like, what is happening? Where did that come from? And it's always such a big surprise for me. So those are going to be fun. Oh, you know what? Let's use these in some earrings in a little bit, but not until after we're done unpacking all of these. Alright, so now we've got some classic toggle clasps. These are 21 by 34 millimeters, and this says that they're lead-free and cadmium-free. Again, I will be testing these. These are nice and big, actually. That is going to be great. Yeah, those aren't likely to come undone. Let's go ahead and get these guys over here. Oh, and we do have a little obsidian faceted teardrop pendant. It is 24 by 13 millimeters in size. And there are no sharp edges. It is obsidian. Let's go ahead and stick you in here with all these other guys. Alright, now we've got some spacers. These are corrugated spacers. They are 5.5 by 2 millimeters, and there are 10 grams of these. And dotted bead caps. There are 10 grams of these as well. They are 6 by 7 millimeters. And they are lead-free, cadmium-free. Let's get these turned over. Alright, I'm actually going to pull that out and pull this out so that I can do my testing later. And last but not least, we've got our stainless steel chain. Hold on, there we go. Gotta keep them separated. 1 meter of 3 by 2 millimeter stainless steel cable jewelry chain. Let's pull this out and take a look at it. Although I will likely keep it in its baggie while it's in my box, just because I don't want to get it tangled on anything else. There you go. So those are some pretty small links, so it's on the delicate side for jewelry chains. And this one is hypoallergenic. Now, let's take one look before I start planning some earrings. Midnight Menagerie. Alright, I think I want to do, I'm going to use these and a couple of these guys. And some sparkly fellows for some earrings. Yeah, let's do some super quick earrings. Everything is bright silver there, so let's grab some bright silver wire. There we go, 22 gauge wire, non-tarnished silver. And I'm just going to straighten this out and warm it up a little bit. The end is a little kink on the end, so I'm going to snip that with my flush cutters. I'm also going to grab my round nose pliers. Actually, let me just use this because I'm going to need it for my ear wires as well. But let's get some, there we go, that'll work. I've got some chain nose pliers too. Alright, so let me pull off about 6 inches for this. I'm going to make sure that whatever I do on one, I also do on the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to need 2 more of these. And I'll probably do one of the earrings with y'all and then finish the second off camera. But we're going to go find the middle, and it doesn't have to be the exact middle. In fact, I'm just going to give myself a little bit of extra room on this end. Give myself about an extra inch there. And then pop this guy right down there into that little middle section. And bend upward, but in a rounded fashion, like make it be more U-shaped, like that. All right, and then one of these rondelles, a sparkly guy, the crystal English cuts. Another rondelle, and another crystal. On that side, and then on this side, the same pattern where we start with one of those rondelles, an English cut, a rondelle. What are you doing? There we go. And an English cut. There we go. And now, I'm pinching these towards each other gently. And then here where they cross over, I'm going to take my chain nose plier and bend this guy up just a little bit. And try to get an equal amount of wire there. Let's do a little bit of a wrapping around there. Nope. Yes. Okay. It's going to seem like it's a little odd because this is falling down that way. But once I get that tightened up, it'll be much more roundy shaped. Triangle shaped. There we go. So I'm just going to tighten up these wraps. Just tidy them up with little gentle smushes. Get that going. And then I need to make a loop up here at the top. Actually, that's going to be too far. Let's just use that smallest loop. I'm going to tip this at an angle like that and then close it. And when I close it, it's going to bend that back around that back loop. And I can use my finger to push that forward over the top. Rotate that out of the way. And I've got a nice little loop there on this end. You can use round nose pliers with this. You don't need this tool to do this. I'm just going to be using it to make ear wires in a minute. And I'm going to keep going down over the top of those wraps that I already did. Yep. Trying to do this and still keep it on camera at the same time, which means it's awkward for me. Right. There we go. So this is just a real quick little dangle. It's chunky and kind of organic looking. And I'm going to add an ear wire. I'm going to make a couple ear wires real quick with you with my 22 gauge wire. I prefer 22 gauge because 20 gauge is a little bit too big for my ears. It hurts them when I wear 20 gauge ear wires. So that's why I like 22 gauge. So to make the ear wires, I'm going to start with some flush cuts here, and then use the smallest loop on my bill making pliers and roll the wire back toward itself to make a loop. It does not need to be a center loop. It's better if it's not. And then the direction that that loop is looking is going to be away from the next barrel that I go over on this. And I like to do the second largest barrel. You can use the largest barrel, there's not a problem with that. I just prefer the look of it with the second largest. So see, it's looking away from there. I'm going to tip that back a little bit and then push that around. It does not need to meet those loops on the other side. You can just leave a little bit of space there. And then I'm going to grasp this with my chain nose pliers just at the same part of this bend as the loop is, but over here on the straight side. Hold on to that and then push the wire at an angle, not at a 90-degree angle, at a shallower angle, I should say. Snip off about 1/4 centimeter from that bend. And then this part will keep it from bending too much when it's being worn or worked with. You're going to take your pliers and give it a big old smush, or use a hammer and bench block to hammer it, to work harden it, or use a wire whacker to do the same thing. But that makes it bend a lot less when you give it a good healthy smush. You may not have the hand strength to do a smush like this. I do, so that's why I prefer doing it this way. However, hammering and also wire whackers are fantastic ways of doing the exact same thing that I'm doing here. And then the last part when you do an ear wire is this end here. You're going to want to take a metal file or a burr cup and smooth out that end. And I do it by gently. You don't need to like press real hard. You don't need to saw away at it, but very gently using your metal file to smooth out any rough or pointy bits on the end. Because even though you use a flush cutter on it, sometimes you can still have a rough edge on part of your ear wire. Alright, and now I can just add this to the earring that I made. That was my first project using this Bargain Bead Box. And again, I'll make the second one off camera, and you'll probably see it on the thumbnail. But this is a really fun Bargain Bead Box, and I cannot wait to create with it. I am really looking forward to seeing what they come up with for the companion bundle as well. I really love when they do that. And the companion bundle, if you are unfamiliar, is where they take some beads from the sister store and they put them together in a bundle that is discounted, and you can still use your 30% discount on that on top of it, but it's meant to kind of go with or expand on your Bargain Bead Box. They are very limited in quantity though, so keep an eye out on the Facebook group for Beadbox Bargains and go grab yourself a little membership there. You can also get lots of inspiration from the creations that other people do with that, and also they'll be doing on the Beadbox Bargains YouTube channel, they'll also be doing a preview of that, or just announcing when that's going to be available to purchase. It's usually going to be after everybody's gotten their Bargain Bead Box, maybe a week later or so on a weekend. That's when they usually release it. Until next time, my friends, happy beading!